Hey, what's up, guys? So this is the final absolute day. You can see it here, June 3rd at 1:40 p.m. Pacific time. This is my final day tier list for everything, pretty much. Wanted to make a big bang final tier list, final send-off, final sadness of everything with this game. I want to go into settings and lower the music for this. Um, I'll just do that, I guess. Just kind of like my final thoughts on where I think everything really has ended in this game, where everything really stands, what's the best, what's the worst, and why. And I'm going to do a brief synopsis or breakdown with everything. So let's start off with the absolute easiest, the high tiers for the factions. This is Omega Force, 100% the best faction in the game. A super duper cheap Ultra that has no audio cues. It just happens and you just have to deal with it. It completely counters pretty much almost everything. It kind of rips through the shields. If there's a shield, it does immense crazy damage. If it's an Ultra to the shield, it does immense crazy damage. If it's the Libertad Ultra, it goes right through and it just kills people like almost instantly. It's very good. If you have a healer with you, you're playing an objective, they put down a Remedio, you put down an Ultra, whatever, or they're just healing them, it makes it so powerful. Shock Punch is completely broken, absolutely busted. Free kill. Like, be an idiot, just hit a button, pick where you want to go, and you pretty much have a free kill, maybe two or three if the team is really bad and not paying attention. Shuriken, for what it is, it's still an excellent ability. It's not as good as Shock Punch, but it's still very good. Instant kills. If you're good with throwing knives in like Call of Duty, it's great. The passive is absolutely broken. Put on a 12 or put on a really fast SMG, and you're zipping around the map like crazy. Even like LMG builds like an L86, and it's just great. They're phenomenal. I would say that the second best thing is the cleaners. Cleaners are definitely really all arounders. Um, or honestly, I take that back. Say the second best faction in the entire. That is a take back. Yes, the cleaners are not as good as people think they are, in my opinion. I would say the number two goes to Libertad. Libertad is incredible. The El Remedio healing is phenomenal. It's really good on objective-based modes where you're healing your team, you're getting the score, you're playing the objective. It's very, very good. If you're playing more of like a team deathmatch, like a hot shot game mode, like you're on the go more, the Biovita boost is great. It really heals you in like a bind where maybe you're in a gunfight with a cleaner. For example, I'm using this because that's why I also think cleaners are lower than Libertad. Libertad just really kind of counters um, cleaners, and cleaners are very top tier, but Libertad do very good against everyone else. If you're going up against, let's say, a dead sec, and they're like, counter, we're gonna steal your healing. It's like, okay, well, I'm on it. You're not right now, so cool. You healed it and didn't really do anything for me. Whereas, let's say, versus dead sec as a highwayman or as a Omega Force, I'm sorry, or as a Wolves, that steal does more. Like it's going to kill another team member if you're a wolf, or if you're using highwaymen and you have the turret, that's going to kill your teammates, and that's not going to help you. Or if it wasn't fully broken, or the 30% of the time it works, if someone steals your shield, that's really shitty. But Libertad really doesn't have to worry about like anyone in specific. Echelon kind of is just kind of like this in its place where it's effective against everybody. It's not too strong, but Libertad is like very strong in the fact that like team play or solo play, they're very effective. So if you want to play a team-based mode, they're going to heal the team. They're going to contribute. They're going to do a lot of things. The Ultra is so good because it allows them to do other things. Whereas when you pop an Ultra with Cleaners, you do it with Echelon, you do it with Highwaymen, you're locked into using that weapon or that ability or that thing. But with the Libertad, you can use your regular weapon and heal. You can throw grenades. You can use another thing to heal. Like, you could do so much and move all the way around. You maintain your movement speed. It's very, very strong. So I'd say Libertad is honestly, they're really up there. I'd say they're just a below a Megaforce, and then a very, very close third, very close to second is the Cleaners. The Cleaners are absolutely phenomenal. So let me look at that list again. The Cleaners are amazing. Cleaners are, oh my god, I suck, I can't get kills, here's a firebomb, let me toss this incinerator drone, you do more damage, you have a pretty decent ultra, it's a close range ultra, far away it's really bad, but it's very good, and it's not better than their ultra, and it's not better than their passives and their team boosting ability. So in more modes, the Libertad are just more beneficial to you. So I would say that the Cleaners are really kind of third there. The next thing that I would have to say for the next faction is actually Phantoms. Uh, a lot of the core regular um, factions in this game are definitely the better factions, and I'll go over it and you'll see when I go to the DLC based stuff. So the Mag Barrier is good. It's very supportive. The Aegis Ultra is very good for team-based mode. So you're playing Escort, you're playing Capture the Flag, you're playing Domination, Occupy, all of those modes. It's a phenomenal Ultra. If your team is with you, it's like really good and really hard to stop them from gaining the point. Because it just gives your team the ability to take no damage at all and just fight off whatever is coming your way. You just have to be careful to pop the ultra before like a Semtex is there or a frag is there so that you're protected during that. And it also counters the Wolves ultra. The bees don't touch it, so that's really good too. And the hardened passive trait is kind of like very good. It's actually very good, but you have to be careful on your gunfights because you heal slower. So you have to be a little smarter or hopefully have a healer with you, which is also why I do think healing is a little better because Phantoms have a downside to their passive, but the shield is so good. Even if you want to do the Ram Blitz shield, it's not that bad either. But I would put Phantoms literally right below them too. The next one I've got to say goes to Echelon, or it's probably Echelon. Their ultra is really, really good. The digital ghillie suit is really good. The Intel suit is actually pretty good too. And the low profile is kind of like, and when you're playing against good players, it doesn't really matter. And that's kind of where things start to trail here is their passive really isn't that great, but they have a phenomenal ultra. At times, I honestly say that GSK is better, but it can go either way, really. I'm going to put GSK next, you'll see. So Sonar Goggles, it's phenomenal. It's a great ultra, but it kind of runs too fast, and on bigger maps, it's very weak. So if you're playing like an escort mode, you have to shoot very far away at certain times. Or if you're playing a map like Liberty or a map like Attica Heights, that ultra isn't that powerful. It's very good. It's definitely good, but like Assassin's Ultra is even like better. Aegis Ultra is better. Libertad Ultra is better. You're going to find a lot of uses for those ultras. But like they're in a weird position where they're very map based, and their passive isn't really that strong. It's definitely useful, but if you're in a good lobby and you're playing with good players that know how to read a minimap and you listen to audio cues, being an echelon isn't really as strong. But in like solo modes or hot shot, they're really good, or team deathmatch, they're phenomenal. They're probably S tier or just below Omega Force and Libertad. Like they're like really, really, really good. But I don't see like a lot of excellent players. I see good players using Echelon, but a lot of times when I see excellent players playing, they're playing Libertad and they're playing Omega Force, and sometimes they're playing like Phantoms. But I feel like Cleaners are kind of in my head that towards if this game kept being played, they would be falling down the tier list because people were getting better. DedSec, sorry, GSK is going to be next. I would say GSK is there. GSK is amazing for team-based modes. Like that's it. Like they're phenomenal at holding hard points. They're phenomenal at domination. Escorting things. They take less damage for headshots. It's very annoying for certain guns that need those extra headshots for those kills. ADS is a great defensive mode thing. They have good healing, so they kind of have that benefit of the Phantoms of, oh, hey, like we take less damage, but there's no downside to it. It's just basically, hey, if you're hitting my head, like I'm not going to go down. Like there's no headshot multiplier for GSK, so that's really, really good. Flash Shield is like a deceptively good ultra. It sucks because you can't jump and you can't mantle with it. So there's drawbacks to using it, and also if you're caught behind, like your vision is different. It's less. Your field of view is less. So it's kind of like a risky-ish ultra. And also they are hard countered by cleaners. And Phantom Ultra, if they come into their shield ultra, they blast them, that counts as a kill. Like nothing beats that hit of that ultra. Um, and Libertad, it's like I don't know. Libertad can kind of get destroyed by them, but that ultra is just their versatility is just so good. So that's kind of the next that I have for that. Next, I think I have GSK. I mean, sorry, Highwaymen, Assassins. Next, I'm gonna put Highwaymen. Highwaymen are really good, but they're really bad in the sense that they don't really have an ultra, and that's really bad. Their ultra's really shit. Unless you're in a super duper tight quarters thing, the hitboxes on them ended up being really bad in the final patch, and very sad, but they weren't really that good. I'd say Wolves. But the thing is that what makes the Highwaymen good is their passive is like, if you're a good player, the passive for Highwaymen is so strong. Because you're going to be killing a good player killing faster is just it's very, 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 very strong. But in terms of like the overall effectiveness of the class, the turrets are easy to destroy. The M79, the launcher, is meh. Like it's gonna get kills sometimes in certain scenarios, but you're better off just kind of using your weapon because you have super fast fire rate and reload times, and you can just fight everyone off that way, off of an objective, as opposed to switching to your slow M79. They're just kind of they're heavily built on the passive, and everything else about them really sucks. But that passive is like really good. If you get a couple kills and you're using a fast fire rate gun like an M4 or the MDR, the Laboa, it's really scary to fight a highwayman that is streaking. It's very, very effective. The only thing that really makes them lower tier is when you're playing objective modes, they have to play a certain way, and they don't have anything to help the team like at all. Phantoms have shields. Libertad has healing. GSK has the ADS. You know, the cleaners have the Molotov that can wipe out an objective. You know, DedSec can hack that. Like, they really struggle at helping the team. They're very independent. But I think Echelon does that better. I didn't put Echelon here. I want Echelon there. So that's where they fall off. They don't help the team, and they don't have an ultra. And that's kind of holds them back. The next thing that I want to use or put here is honestly Assassins. Assassins are really, really bad, but they have a phenomenal ultra. They don't have a really good passive. Their passive is weak. It's a blade that is super delayed and takes forever to come out, and the eagle vision is basically worthless. Just have a good eye and look around and be aware. You don't need that. It's a worthless ability. And it's like, oh, if you use the blade, it refreshes it, but it doesn't. You don't need to have that. It's not like you. If they could move quietly and they made no sound when they moved, they would be a way better faction. If like that was their passive, like they don't have footstep audio, like instant would have been a great faction. Like would have been way better because then the eagle vision is purpose. Like you could actually sneak up behind people because you don't make footstep audio or something like that. Like great idea. Apple of Eden it's a great ultra, but the cherry bomb is really weak. There's so many times I use it and I'll still die. Like and it'll just be lucky. It'll just or the melee won't come out, or I'll do it and I'll kill one guy, but then the other guy heals and he's back in time, and then I die. Like it's just not good. It's a really really bad Molotov from cleaners, and it just doesn't work. They're not the worst faction in the game, but they're pretty low tier. So the next one, the faction that I actually truly think is the worst faction in the game is DedSec. So the reason why I think DedSec is really bad is they ended up in a real bad spot because the shields don't get hacked that much. Like it's like a 30 or 40% likelihood that you're going to get a shield when you hack it. So Phantoms, in a sense, kind of soft counter the DedSec, and DedSec passive trait isn't really that useful. Having a, being able to print a thing, getting a new grenade or something, it's helpful. It's fine. Its spider bot is way weaker than it used to be. It basically just tells people where you are. So it's a free it's like a free mini UAV to know where the DedSec are. Hijack is only really good against turrets, and like sometimes you can get shields, and sometimes you can get the Legion drones from the wolves. But the thing is that the wolves, you can't use them against the wolves. It only counters other teammates because the wolves are immune to abilities. So the Lockout Ultra is like really, 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 really good because it can cancel other Ultras. So if you get your Ultra first, you can either hold on to that Ultra and wait for somebody to pop their Ultra. So let's say Echelon gets their Ultra after you and you've held on to it. If you hear the can't hide from me now, you can pop that, activate it, cancel their Ultra. You don't have to worry about it. The downside to that, though, is if the other team is intelligent enough, they're not going to use their Ultra. So basically, it's two stalemates where neither person is going to use their Ultra because they don't want. So if DedSec pops the Ultra first, they're going to wait for that Ultra to be done, and then they're like, oh, okay, now I can use mine. But the whole purpose of this Ultra is to prevent other people from using their tools. So it's very good as like a comeback mechanic, but if you hold on to it too long and you score and you have a really good score, you lose the possibility of having a second Ultra. So there's kind of like a weird mind game going on with the DedSec Ultra. Um, yeah, I don't think DedSec is really great because they're right now, as the game stands, they're very bad at countering things because they're kind of broken. If they were fully functioning, I would say they were up 3 or 4 more tiers, but they don't really gain anything. Like they're reliant on what the other team does. And even if they like, let's say they hack like the Remedio from Libertad, okay, I don't care. Like it's not really affecting. It's like, what are you going to do? Hack the turret from the Highwaymen? Okay, well, that's kind of a lower-ish tier faction. So, like, the higher tier factions don't really have to worry about DedSec. Like, when you use Libertad or Cleaners, you don't really care about what DedSec is doing, and a Megaforce certainly doesn't care about what DedSec is doing. Phantoms kind of now at this point don't care what DedSec is doing. Echelon doesn't care about anything DedSec's doing. DedSec does so bad against so many of the factions. They start to do well, like kind of around Phantoms, GSK, and Highwaymen because they can hack the ADS. Okay, that's kind of useful, but if you're hacking the ADS, the team is probably already on the point. So you still have to fight the team on the point. Highwaymen, if they had an Ultra, if they were more viable, Highwaymen would be upper tier, but DedSec would be better because DedSec could actually fight a decent faction. But because they're also a bad faction, it doesn't really help DedSec too much. I really do feel like these are the top four. A Megaforce is just busted because they don't have to worry about really anything. And they counter Libertad, they counter Cleaners, they counter Phantoms, the shields. The Echelon, they're faster and they're better at closer range than Echelon. GSK, okay, maybe they have to kind of deal with GSK with less damage, but like it just doesn't. Yeah, Omega Force is literally busted. So that's my tier list for the factions. Now I'm going to get into the tier list kind of with the guns. I'm not going to break this one down as much. I'm just going to kind of roll through the weapons. The FAMAS is easily one of the worst guns in the game. It's absolutely terrible. In some cases, it's not even a clear 2-burst kill. It's sometimes, most cases, it's a 3-burst kill because you need a full 6 shots in the first damage range, and you're probably going to miss one of those bullets within that burst. So it's a 3-burst kill. The ACR and the AK-47 are pretty bad. They're not terrible. They're decent. But they're just pretty much like the same gun. When they nerfed them, they just kind of became the same thing. G36K is like pretty good. It's a pretty great gun. Lavoa is a phenomenal gun, probably the second best gun in the game. MDR is probably the absolute best gun in the game. M4 is probably like a top 6, top 7, top 5, somewhere in that realm for a gun. It's so solid. You can use it at any range, and it's like effective, very accurate. M16 is a 2 burst kill. It's a 1 burst kill if you hit all headshots. It's really, really good. M1928 is easily the worst SMG. Feels very incomplete. PP19, if you miss any of your bullets, your time to kill goes heavily down. But if you hit all your shots, it's probably a top 2, top 3 SMG. MP5 is second to worst with the M1928. I put it slightly above the M1928. Not by much. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not really good. I think the P90 is the best SMG, but you could kind of make an argument for either of these depending on your playstyle. The Vector absolutely shreds up close, but you take way too many shots. It's like a 12, 13-ish shot to kill at longer ranges. It's very accurate though. So if you can kind of get a headshot in there too, it's not too bad. I like the P90 because it has that versatility of being pretty damn good up close, but also like very accurate and not too many shots to kill at longer ranges. MP7 is a little bit better than the P90 up close, but I feel at longer ranges it's not as good as the P90. So the P90 and the Vector are like my top two, and then I'd say the MP7 is the third. Maybe the PP19 is third. I guess one of these is my third, PP19 or the MP7, and then these two, M1928 and MP5A2 are the worst. The shotgun world, AA12 is definitely the absolute best. I'd say next is probably the M870, and then the Spaz 12, and then the double barrel. Double barrel kills really, really fast. It's very good, but you shoot like one or two enemies or one enemy and then you got somebody else, you're probably dead. You absolutely need to hit your shot. Um, Spaz 12, I feel like I get so many hit markers with this thing sometimes, and point blank, and people just don't die. It's really weird. I don't know. M870, I feel, is a little bit more consistent than the Spaz, really not by much. Moving on to the LMGs, I think the L86 is easily the best LMG. It's got really good speed, or really, 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 really good time to kill. MG5 has pretty much the same time to kill as L86, but really, really, really slow reload time. And when you have to reload, you're just sitting there for too long. And the movement speed is slower. I don't really like that. The third best, I'd say, is an M249. That was a really fun gun, but eventually you just kind of got to reload, and it moves slow. I like the RPK, honestly, more lately towards the end of this game's life cycle. There's a lot of ways that you can kind of build it. You can do like a heavy barrel build, and then you combine that with like the cleaners, and it's insane. It's like a 4-shot kill. It's really, really good. M60 is really good. Actually, I hate the M60. I don't like the fire rate. I miss a bullet, and you're just screwed. If you do not miss your shots, it's an absolutely phenomenal gun, but it's slow, it's clunky. I don't really like it. Marksman rifles, the M1A is easily the best, followed by the Mark 20 and then the SVD. SVD, I mean, all these guns are great if you hit your shots. If you don't hit your shots, you're in for a time. But they're very inconsistent. On the sniper world, the L115 is usually the best, and then if you run the cleaners with the M44, this is really, really good. It's really, really snappy. Then I like the Tech 50, and then I like I guess the SRS. I never really got into it much. But yeah, those are pretty much the best guns and the worst guns and the things, and my final kind of send off for the game and with the factions and where I really think everything kind of stands at the end here. I do think that Libertad was making its way to be top two, top three. I think a lot of people thought the Megaforce and the Cleaners were kind of the number two, but I lately have been thinking Libertad these past few days that I've been playing. They're just so versatile and just always a very good option for the team and for an individual player. So as we wrap up, this is the final day of the game. I want to say, thank you to the XDefiant community. Thank you everyone. This is a great game, and it's really sad, and it really pisses me off that this game is getting shut down. I'm gonna be uploading this video to my YouTube channel. Um, yeah, this is it. So I've enjoyed it a lot.